For my research proposal, we will be examining the effect of increased protein in a vegetarian diet on the depression symptoms in premenopausal women. Depression has been known to be a debilitating disorder for several years and is one of the major causes of morbidity among humans. Due to the major consequences of depression, such as personal, professional, and social dysfunction, premature mortality, and suicide, researchers set out to determine the role that nutrition plays in regards to the management of depression in order to find a more holistic and natural approach instead of relying on medication that blocks the degradation of certain neurotransmitters. For several years, it has been a known fact that nutrients are needed for the functionality of neurotransmitters. Some of these nutrients are amino acids such as tryptophan, tyrosine, and glutamine, zinc, copper, magnesium, iron, B6, B12, and folic acid. These nutrients can be found in whole grains, cheese, yogurt, beans, vegetables, and more, which can be associated with a lacto-vegetarian diet. However, the correlation between depression and plant-based diets has been controversial for several years. Some researchers have suggested that a vegetarian diet causes depression, while others state that the vegetarian diet helps reduce symptoms of depression. A majority of these studies have been conducted on a similar population, which is adult men. The purpose of this particular study is to expand the research and test whether a plant-based diet with a high amount of protein will help reduce symptoms in a population that contains a higher rate of depressed individuals, which are premenopausal women. My research question is, does a lacto-vegetarian diet consisting of 1 gram of plant-based protein, which consists of nuts, legumes, broccoli, spinach, and pea protein powder, per pound of premenopausal women diagnosed with depression help reduce symptoms of depression compared to the recommended protein amount of 0.4 to 0.5 grams of plant-based protein? There are some emerging themes from peer-reviewed scholarship which point towards an all-fruit and vegetable diet helping to reduce psychiatric disorder symptoms such as depression. However, there has been some debate on whether a vegetarian diet is specifically beneficial to reducing depression symptoms. One systematic review found that a fruit and vegetable diet was beneficial for mental health in adult women. However, the systematic review was not specific to a particular disorder or age. Instead, the study was conducted on the general term adult women. On the contrary, many studies conducted thus far regarding the correlation between depression and a vegetarian diet state that vegetarian diets do cause depression symptoms among adults. However, a majority of these studies either examine both men and women or solely adult men. These studies also compare the vegetarian diet to an omnivore diet and a semi-vegetarian diet. Within each conclusion, researchers have stated that yes, the vegetarian diet does cause depression symptoms, but further research needs to be conducted in order to confirm this. The results of these studies are debatable because the vegetarian diet is being compared to an omnivore diet, which consists of a higher amount of protein intake. Therefore, it's important to compare the two diets using the same amount of protein intake to determine which diet is more effective in reducing depression symptoms. Each diet used thus far throughout these studies consists of a high amount of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, olive oil, and dairy products. However, within each group, there is no particular amount of serving per day for the participants. Therefore, we will be using a control for particular nutrients that help with depression. The study will consist of 2 groups and will be examining a Group A, which will consist of premenopausal women with depression who consume 0.5 grams of vegetable-based protein of their choice, either legumes, broccoli, pea protein powder, nuts, or spinach, per body pound each day for 3 months. Group B will consist of premenopausal women with depression who consume 1 gram of vegetable-based protein of their choice per body pound each day for 3 months. The participants will record their dietary intake each day on the Cronometer app, which will be monitored by the research team. Each participant must consume lacto-vegetarian foods and must meet a level of 100% in tryptophan, tyrosine, glutamine, zinc, copper, magnesium, B6, B12, and folic acid every day. The researchers and participants will be able to tell if they've met their 100% goals through these levels that are listed on the Cronometer app. Depression symptoms can be measured easily through a self-survey called the Hamilton Depression Test, which will allow the participants to rate the severity of their symptoms on a number scale. For the analysis, we will first conduct a visual cross-examination to see if there is a reduction in symptom ratings over the 3-month span for each participant. We will then find the mean between each survey given over the 3-month span using the total score calculated at the end of each survey. Following that, we will then calculate the mean between the participants within both groups and use a t-test to calculate the actual power and determine whether the hypothesis was correct. Some strengths that this study provides are that it builds upon existing research of an extremely controversial topic. It also looks at existing research from a different perspective, and it may help premenopausal women find a more holistic way in reducing their depression symptoms. Also, the participants will be able to learn some nutrition facts along the way. Some weaknesses are that it doesn't determine 100% accuracy of whether the vegetarian diets are helpful or harmful for depression. The adherence of the diet may falter. The reliability of Cronometer and food reporting may not be as accurate as we would hope. And there will be self-reported surveys which may be either biased or untruthful. And there's also lifestyle changes and adaptations that the participants will have to go through, and they may not adhere to the diet as much as we would hope due to birthday parties, going out to dinner, etc. I look forward to conducting this research, and thank you for listening.